Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Firefly Rob, and I'm making a video for which could help you quite a lot if you take all of these into account. It's basically how to make your computer run faster. Now I've written down about 12 steps, and you would need to at least take into account 10 or 11 of them to make it run faster. You can't do one step and then expect it to double your performance on your computer. So I recently got a new computer, a new gaming rig, if you saw my last video, and well, the Crisis 2 gameplay with me getting a new PC. This wouldn't really work if you've just recently formatted or just like got it from new, because obviously your performance would already be near its top. So if you've had your computer for about 2 or 3 years now and it hasn't been formatted or anything, and you've just got loads of programs on, this would probably help. It's not guaranteed, but you know, I haven't copied these off any websites, even though websites would say exactly the same. This is just from what I have been, from just like past experiences. So let's get started then. The first one is, these are not in any order of what to do or anything, these are just random ones that I've written down. So the first one is a virus scan, and I use this Microsoft Security Essentials. This is a free program. Yeah, that's right, it's free. It's from Microsoft themselves, and what this does is this is really good. Where should we start? So yeah, so it's got real-time protection, which basically means, which it says there, is if something's trying to install itself on your computer before it's even executed the file, it will go, whoa, there's something on here that shouldn't be. And so then what it will come up with is that at the bottom there will be red with a cross, and it will say, and it will have that cross there, and it will say clean computer. You click on clean computer, it'll have the virus, and then you could just click delete, and it would be deleted. So before it's even installed itself on your computer, it would you know, get rid of it. So this is only free is if you've got a what do you call it, genuine copy of Windows. So you know, you'll have to make sure you've got a genuine copy of Windows before you install this. If you can't find it or anything, just put Microsoft Security Essentials in Google, but if you can't find it, I'll put a link to it if I remember. So, and obviously you can have scan options, quick, full, custom, or whatever. So that's that one. That's number one. The next one is Msconfig. So if you could go into Start in Windows 7, and you go and search Program and Files and put Msconfig in, it'll have it there. You could just press enter. Okay, maybe not. Just just click that, Msconfig, and you'll come up with this. If you click on Startup and move these over, this is basically programs that will boot straight on startup. So if you've ever noticed when you've booted your computer up and it's taking quite a lot of time, and in your toolbar at the bottom right you've got loads of programs and your programs are out here, you need to try and keep them to a bare minimum so your startup time is lowered, really. So all of these was ticked first, and what it would do is it would turn on, or it would execute all them programs when you start up your computer, and obviously it'd take about 5 minutes before you could literally do something then. So what you could do is if you really wanted to, is you could just untick these, but you'll have to make sure that what you're unticking will not affect anything else. So like with here, Java, you don't really need that auto updater. Power DVD, that whatever that is. If you don't know what something is, just go to the command, and it will say it's a RAID tool. Now I don't have RAID, so so that's alright. Groove Monitor utility, you find out that's with Microsoft Office, so I don't really use Microsoft Office. Office. Epson Status Monitor 3. Now that's obviously to do with your printer. I don't really use my printer, I only use my printer when I print something out, obviously. So Cyberlink, BRS, that's to do with DVDs and stuff. BCU, no idea what that is, let's have a look what that is. That is a browser configuration utility, you don't really need that. And Adobe CS4 Service Manager, you don't really need that. So with the ones that I have ticked with like Steam, Google Toolbar, you need to have that ticked. Wow, if you untick that, wow, then you're in big trouble. Then Catalyst Control Center, that's for my graphics card drivers, Microsoft Security Client, which was what I showed you before, USB 3 monitor. I don't really need that because I don't have any USB 3s, but I've got some USB 2s in the USB 3 port, so I don't really want to do that in case it conflicts with it. And the Realtek HD Audio Manager, whatever. So if you've unticked something and you've changed some stuff, just click Apply and then click OK, and then you're done with that one. Next one is delete cookies in the internet. This is very basic, really. Where is it? So you need to go to Control Panel, Internet Options, and just click Browsing History, and just click Delete. Just tick them four, and then click Delete. I'm not going to do it because I don't know how long it will take. So that's that one done. I can't see the exit one, never mind. Next one is Disk Defrag. Click on Disk and then go on Disk Defragmenter. Oh sorry, click on Disk, put Disk in there, obviously what I showed you before. So Disk Defragmenter, it says there, consolidates fragmented files on your computer's hard disk to improve its system performance. So I've thought of an analogy for what Disk Defragmenter does, and it's very weird, but listen to it, you'll get it. Say if there's like a big field and it's 2 miles long, and there is 10 people spaced out in that mile. So there's one, say, every 400 or 500 meters. And the one person on one end wants to give information to the one on the opposite end. So what they'd have to do then is that guy then would have to give information to the one next to him. Then that guy would have to give that information to the one next to him. So that takes time. So if I said there was 10 people, he'd have to give that information to 10 people before it gets to the end. Right, but so you've got spaces of information and it takes ages to access that information. Right? So now what this Disk Defragmenter does, it would bring the people closer together. So what you would need to do then is when they were giving the information, they were shouting it. So they were shouting the information. So they would have to shout to the guy next to him, obviously. Then he'd have to shout to the guy next to him. So what Disk Defragmenter does is it would bring the people closer together, so he could skip the first person, just say, and he could go straight to the second person and shout to him because he's close enough. And then he could shout to his second person. So what happens then is the information would get to the end quicker. So that's all it basically does, is it compresses all your data and it brings it all into one space. Because if you have little bits of information and then an empty space and then bits of information, it's going to take long to access it because it's going to have to access that free space. So I'm sure I've got that right. So if you defragment your hard drive, it'll be easier to access the information it needs to get. So how to work it, you could turn on the schedule so you can have it whenever you want, do it daily or whenever. So you could just click on the disk that you want it to do. It'll tell you which one the operating system's on because it'll have the Windows logo. So you just click on the disk drive you want to work, and then you could go analyze disk first to see if it does actually need defragmenting, and then you just click defragment disk. So that's that easily done. The next one is disk cleanup. If you go on my computer, you'll have you won't have 3 hard drives, you'll have a few hard drives there. if you right click on the hard drive and you click properties and then you go on disk cleanup, what this does is this will get rid of any cookies, any temporary files that you don't really need, anything like that. Okay, so that's another one. Now here's a very simple one. It's not really a step, but it's just basically delete any programs you don't need. So with like me on here, I've got loads of programs and stuff installed on here. Delete anything you don't really need. Now to be honest, I don't really need everything, but you know, I don't need anything. So for me, I've only just recently got this computer, so I don't really need to delete anything. My performance is still probably 99% anyway. The next one is Windows Update. Is surprisingly enough, people leave this because they think, oh, why do I need to update it? It works alright. But to be honest, like graphic card drivers, it can improve performance on it. Oh, remember, only do this if you've got a genuine copy of Windows. You know, people will be who's got like fake copies of it will be doing this, and it's up to you. You can do if you want. Anyway, 22 important updates are available. So you have a look at these updates, and it's got like security updates. But I've looked at them, and I don't really need to do any of them. So yeah, that really helps. I'll do that one last. Yeah, I'll do that one last. Right. Adjust power options. So if you go to the control panel again and you go to power options and you click select, and it has select a power plan. If it has preferred plans and it says balanced, it'll have balanced recommended. Automatically balances performance with energy consumption on capable hardware, and high performance. Now I've chosen high performance because mine is obviously a gaming rig. You need as much power as you can to it. So I've clicked on high performance and then clicked on change plan settings, and it'll have turned off the display, never, put the computer to sleep, never. And you can change advanced power options, so it'd give the maximum performance to power to your hard drives, your USBs, PCI Express card, all that type of stuff. So if you've just got a normal run-of-the-mill computer, you can choose balanced if you want, but don't really need to choose power saver. Or if you're a green person and you don't like wasting energy, I suppose you should click on power saver. But the cost of energy that you'll be using on high performance is literally pennies. It's not, you're not really talking like, oh, £20 a month, you know, anything like that. So next one is adjusting the visual effects. So where is this? So if you go on performance, information and tools, we'll do this, sort this out after, and you go on adjust visual effects. Now then, what you could do is, if you haven't got a really amazing computer, like you've got a gig of memory and say like a dual core or a old quad core, you know, I think you could use this. You could choose, like Windows, choose what's best for my computer, but you could choose adjust for best appearance or adjust for best I can't get these words out, I've only just woken up. Adjust for best performance. So if you really want, well, I suppose is if you want your computer to run a bit faster, you would choose adjust for best performance. If you want to sacrifice performance for a bit of, you know, a bit of eye candy, you could use adjust for best appearance. So that's that one. And the next one is turn your hard drive to RAID. So what does RAID stand for? It stands for redundant array of inexpensive disks. And I can't basically explain this in like 2 minutes. It'll take about 20 minutes. Linux Tech Tips, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's done a video of this, and what it basically means is it just makes your computer run faster but sacrifices life expectancy of the hard drive. The only way to turn this to RAID is if you were doing a new format. So if you were doing a new format, turn your hard drive to RAID. That would basically make your computer run faster. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because I don't know how to do it. My hard drives are not in RAID, and only do it if the operating system that you're using and your, what do you call it, motherboard supports RAID. Another thing that that's that one sorted. Another thing that I found as well, which is number 12, well it's number 11, and I'll do the other one after, is ReadyBoost. And what this is if I could just find it, right, I've got a USB stick here, I'll just plug that in, right, this one's called ReadyBoost, and what this is if you put a pen drive in and it's empty, put an empty pen drive in, and you'll have, like, you know, open file folder, whatever, and it'll say here, speed up my system using Windows ReadyBoost. If you click on that, I don't know if, right, okay, that's alright, I didn't really use this. And what this does is this utilises memory on your flash drive, and it takes away the pressure of your hard drive processing information. And what it does is, it's hard to explain. It says speed up your system by utilising the available space on this device. So it's hard to explain. What it basically does is adds memory to your memory. So say if you've got, this would be helpful if you've got 512 megabyte or a gigabyte of RAM, or if your hard drive is 5400 RPM or less than 4 on the index computer performance, but I'll show you that after to find out if it's better for you using this. What it does is it utilises your memory. You know, I'm just going to stop rambling, I'm just going to put it up in Google. Right, so what is it? ReadyBoost. ReadyBoost. Right, I've already looked into it, but right, here we go. First introduced with Windows Vista and bundled with, it works by using flash memory, a USB flash drive, SD card, compact flash, or any kind of portable mass storage device as a cache. Okay, so what it does is, it's for caching, allows Windows 7 to service random disk reads with performance that is typically 80 to 100 times faster than random reads from traditional hard drives. Caching applies to all disk content, not just page files or system DLLs. Okay, if this is all a bit too complicated for you, what it basically does is it takes the pressure off your hard drive doing disk reads, so basically processing information. So say if you was recording a video on Fraps, you need basically a fast hard drive, and when I mean fast hard drive, I mean in terms of RPM, of how fast it spins round. So my one is 7400? No, 7600? Whatever, 7000 and odd RPM. That, you can, there's two types as far as I know. There's excuse me, there's 5400 RPM and there's 7600, I think it is, RPM. And obviously the faster it is, the faster it could process your video while you're recording. So what it would do is it would take that and it would put it on your flash drive, and that would be able to process the information as well as the hard drive, so it'd make it run faster. Or if you've got a crap computer, it will make it run faster, but obviously it won't make it run like 100% faster, you know. It will work. So you could try that if you want. I'm only just telling you about it, I'm not telling you how to work it or anything. So look on YouTube, you know, and stuff like that. Here, look at it, it says here, system with 512 can see 512 of MAM, the bare minimum for Vista, can see significant gains with ReadyBoost. In one test case, ReadyBoost speeds up an operation from 11.7 seconds to 2 seconds, increasing physical memory from 512 to a gig without ReadyBoost reduced it to 0.8 seconds. So alright, so okay, so with ReadyBoost with 512 of RAM, it's reduced an operation from 11.7 seconds to 2 seconds. But if you were just to increase your memory from 512 to a gig, it would reduce that massively. So if you can't really afford buying any memory, and the best thing to do is to just use ReadyBoost, but if you can, just upgrade your memory anyway. So that was a bit long-winded, but it was all worth it in the end. And the last one is index computer performance. So go on your control panel, performance information and tools, and rate and improve your computer's performance. So what Windows does is it rates how good your different components of your computer is. So your processor, it works out how many calculations per second it does, memory operations per second, you know, and all that stuff. And normally with people it's the primary hard disk, which is your hard drive obviously. So with my graphics card it's 7.8, with my processor 7.4, memory 7.4, and the reason why the base score is 5.8, that's because the primary hard disk is the lowest one. And the only way to make that higher is if I do what I did before and turn your hard drive into RAID, or get a solid state drive and put that in RAID. So also as well, it'd be a good idea to use ReadyBoost is if your hard disk is below 4.0. So if your hard disk is below 4.0, I'd suggest using ReadyBoost, you know, to make that run it a bit faster. So this is, in my opinion, how to make your computer run faster in terms of like startup when you're booting up. It might make it run a bit faster in games because you're putting less stress on your processor and hard drive with the amount of programs you've got, deleting cookies, you know, disk defragmenting, disk cleanup, you know, updates, power options. You know, don't hate on me if it doesn't make your computer run faster or improve performance on it. You know, I haven't actually tried all these in one go because obviously I don't need to because mine's a pretty new computer. But anyway, if this helps, yeah, please make sure to comment and like the video, and I'll see you later. Bye.